Renee, Chris, and Ryan going live. Best podcast, Beauty and the Beast. Sit back and catch a vibe. Oh yeah, we talking zombies and apocalypses and all those things you like. Going beast mode, and if you didn't know, it's P to Z up on the mic. Whoa, hey, TWD family, grab the snacks about the pantry and subscribe and like if you can, please. Or those walkers eat you like some candy. Hey, okay. You at the right place at the right time. No one does it better, that's the bottom line. Beauty and the Beast, this is prime time. Let's go.
What is going on, The Walking Dead people out there? Hope you guys are enjoying yourselves. This is Chris from Beauty and the Beast, and we're here to talk about San Diego Comic-Con's release of their little clip that they gave us of the book of Carol. It's going to be part of Daryl Dixon Season 2. So we're here to give you our thoughts and things.
Well, I'm Ryan, by the way.
I'm Renee.
Thanks, Christopher, for taking the center stage like that. We appreciate you.
Yeah. How'd I do? Did I handle it okay?
Yeah, you did great, buddy.
I got a little nervous.
You did
I got a little nervous.
Golf clap.
I got the nerves.
You did a better job than I did. Don't worry, buddy.
I was, it felt good to be back in the seat. You know what I mean?
It's been a bit.
Yeah, it's man. So yeah, let's let's dive in. What are your guys' thoughts so far on what they gave us? What's the vision of this looking like to you guys?
I mean, I've never been like, I might get, strung up from the city square for this, but I've never been a huge Carol fan. Like, I've never been like, oh my God, it's Carol. Oh, But I've always appreciated Carol's role in The Walking Dead and the part that Melissa has played as Carol. I didn't realize how much I missed Carol until I saw her on the screen again. And then I was like, damn, she's a badass. You know what I mean? And it's still not like, oh my God, I have to see Carol. But like, for me, it was good to see her again. And to see that determination that she has, that passion, it's like when it's somebody she cares about, she is full steam ahead. She would tear down Rome for that person. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That was cool. That was cool to see.
I think they kind of have like that little subtitle for this whole thing. It's the fact that two people could be at anywhere, but they'll never kind of stop ever fighting for that bond to be together type thing. So they definitely have like that. They're pushing that type of storyline.
Mm-hmm.
You're always going to go and find your person. You're always going to go, find that bond type thing. Yeah. Which, let's face it, I mean, it's been there since, day one. So.
Oh, absolutely.
If you guys are interested, you can go on YouTube. They do have the 11 minutes, I believe, posted on YouTube of the show. I think it's called. It's not the actual full 11 minutes of like the first episode or anything like that. It's it's more of a behind the scenes trailer review. It's 11 minutes long, so it's out there if anybody wants to check that out. By the way.
But it's also on AMC Plus, right?
Well, AMC Plus is the actual first 11 minutes of episode 1. So if you have an AMC subscription, I would get on sooner than later because who knows if they'll pull it. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
But as of today, it was there because I watched it. So you get to see that first 11 minutes. Part of it does contain the teaser footage we've seen with Carol, where she's bike and she goes to that camp and talks to the guys and that. So there's that part, but then it expounds on that and everything. But yeah, it's a nice 11 minutes to open the season. It's really good. Yeah. But the trailer.
They gave us a little bit more meat and potatoes with their trailer.
Well, because it's official trailer.
Yeah.
Since it's a trailer and not a teaser like Dead City gave it, Right. So we actually got, like you said.
Not to mention the fact that the season comes out in like less than 2 months.
Yeah. Yeah, they're a little more, a
little bit more close by. They actually have a release date.
Yeah. But I thought it was a very good, I mean, I thought it was, you know, we saw a lot of action, but I love this series is so, it's just filmed so well. And you see, you know, like you see Daryl talking to Isabel about, you know, wondering if you know, he thinks about the people that he left behind and if they're still thinking of him, kind of thing, you know. And then you know, and then we all know Carol, of course, is, you know, thinking and looking for him. But I really love those you know, softer moments like that, because it just gives it more emotion and things. And it's just very, it's very different. I mean, we've had things like that in the Walking Dead universe, but this is different, you know, the way that they do it. And I know Norman Reedus, there was several interviews with him where he talked about how they film things in France. He said, like, in Georgia, it's like a machine. They just go, you know, get it done. But there, he said they'll cut to have a smoke break, and then he thinks they're getting ready to start filming, so he's getting ready, and they're like, so what are the characters feeling in it? I mean, they like do a deep dive into these little scenes to really get that feel, so that when they are filming, they understand what they're filming, kind of thing. You know, he just said it's more in depth, and he said they're just very thorough with that. So that's part of the reason that it just has such a different tone than the other series, which, you know, is you know, we need that. We don't want to watch The Walking. I mean, I love The Walking Dead, but I don't want to keep watching the same series over and over again. You know, which has been great with these spinoffs, because we've gotten, you know, very different looks at different parts of, you know, Manhattan, different, you know, all these things. But yeah,
and I mean, to go off, I mean, obviously when we watched the series, you can always kind of come back to like where we kind of always feel like things were rushed. You know, it's like, oh, I think that was rushed. You know, I think they kind of, you know, they could have done more and done this or whatever. And to go to the point that you're making now with the way they're filming this, where they want to get a little bit more, they have the time and they want to get a little bit more in depth with the character, whatever. It could be storyline, it could be ad-libbing, it could be character emotion, whatever. So that way, hopefully, we don't get that. They kind of just push through this, you know. And we got that a lot with The Walking Dead, you know, unfortunately.
But, when the cast grew, it was just harder to focus on these smaller stories. But in these, you know, you're basically focusing on two characters, you know. I mean, there's other ones involved, but it's, you know, this is the Carol and Daryl show. You know, you had the Maggie and Negan show, and you had the Rick and Michonne, you know, and that's the focus, and that's, you know, the viewers want the focus on them, you know, because they, you know, want to see more of their story. But it does, it's paced much better, for sure.
I think that's you know, part of the reason why in Dead City that, like, we saw, you know, characters that, you know, we started to feel some kind of affection towards, and they were like either like yoink, like, no, you know what I mean? Because like you said, when you go from a cast of 2 people to 5 to 10 to 20 to 40 people that you know, and you're trying to manage all of these relationships to be portrayed on screen, you're trying to manage, you know, the different complexities of those relationships, of those friendships, it becomes so much that, like, what's the saying? You're a jack of all trades, master of none. You know what I mean? Like, you really don't get the full effect, and I think they know that. I think that they learned that with The Walking Dead itself, that there was, like you said, Renee, there was so many people, so many complexities, it was hard to follow. And so for us, for them, it was like, you know, we're going to introduce these awesome characters, but you're not going to get to keep them. They're going to serve a purpose, and they're gone. And I think that was an intentional choice on their part to get rid of the I forgot the group's name, to get rid of them the way they did, because they're like,
the tribes people.
The tribes people, they're here. We're here to watch Negan and Maggie and minorly Herschel. You know what I mean? So I think that they wanted us to focus on that core 3 and say that, like, this relationship's about them 3, like that, you know. And I think the same thing with Daryl. I think that they said, we have these 2 characters, we want you to focus on them. There's minor characters, but you could lose them at any minute, so don't get too attached. You know, especially because, like, there's certain characters that we have spoke about before that have incredibly impenetrable plot armor and will never die. You know what I mean? The fans will revolt. You know what I mean? So I think that was intentional.
I think the trailer, I liked how it started out with that was Anna. She was from the club that Quinn ran, and it looks like she's in charge of the club now that Quinn's gone. And Daryl Dixon, I thought you were dead, and he's like, not yet. I just thought that was a great way to open the.
Was that the woman that he was pointing the French Civil War era like musket at? And she looked like she was like hurt or something, and
she
he had the gun
like a bright
her.
red dress.
Yeah, she was right at the beginning, the bright red dress.
Right at the beginning.
Yeah,
I got the trailer of it.
Yeah, and then, she's just like, Daryl Dixon, I heard her, I thought you were dead or something, and he's like, not yet. So
I think the other cool thing too that we get as fans, with these spinoffs is you get a better picture of the world around them. There's more time that they're able to spend on the cinematography. You know, and you really get to see like how beautiful it is, you know, like where they're filming, like castles and everything else, beachfronts, and it's just, you know, you get a better view of how deep the world is that they're in now, you know, where because of the way that they're able to I think film and do things now, where it is just more center focused on two people. You know, or not, you know, main story wise, two people or three people even. So, you know, it's good to you're able to really kind of absorb the world that they're in. I think, you know, you get pulled into that, I think, a little bit easier. So that's, you know, that's another just kind of like enjoyable viewpoint from my opinion.
I think that's where a lot of the character building is too, because a lot of times they're on these, you know, they're traveling from here to there or whatever, and a lot of times, you know, you'll hear people say, well, no one wants to see these characters just walking for 3 miles. Well, sometimes we do, because that's where, you know, you're learning about them. You're getting this, you know, these bonds are being built. You know, so in like the Daryl Dixon, especially because they've had to travel so far, you know, we have seen a lot of that where they're traveling and they're talking and getting to know one another. And, you know, again, it just adds to the emotional part, which, you know, I mean, that's just how life is. You have those emotional things, and even in an apocalypse, that's going to happen. You know, it's going to be different, but it's going to happen. So yeah, I've enjoyed seeing all that. It's just again, like, just makes this a very unique series in the Walking Dead universe.
Yeah. And I mean, once again, I mean, it's an official trailer and everything, but you know, they throw so much stuff at you. And, you know, it's hard to tell as you're looking at it. You know, there's a scene where Daryl has, you know, his arrow drawn, and then they flash quick to like 3 guys throwing a body over a bridge. And you don't know if Daryl's trying to do a mercy kill or if, you know, like.
Is this even related?
Yeah, is it even? Yeah, exactly. Is it even related? So it's like you just sit there racking your brain trying to piece stuff together.
Because they know we're all putting that on the slowest, you know, to watch that clip by clip to see what we can piece together.
Yep. I mean, there's obviously a ton of action. It looks like there's a lot of fight scenes. He gets captured again, apparently. Kind of, I don't know, there's a visual throwback, but he's in a cement cell. You're just waiting to see him in a gray sweatshirt with an A written on it.
With an A on it, exactly. And where's his dog food
Where's
sandwich?
the dog food?
Easy Street, you know.
Easy Street, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But I love that when he like holds the, you know, his bonds up like that to the kid, and the kid has the keys, you know, and then he goes in there with that thing and just starts wailing on those guys.
Oh yeah, the mace looking thing.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool. He was like, I was like, oh damn.
He just
so
like
cool.
takes care of those guys, you know, those
medieval throwback, you know.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
You know, Carol flying.
Yeah, so the new character, that, you know, okay, I thought the whole boat thing was going to be absurd, but it worked out. So I'm letting them go. I'm just
at least it's not an igloo cooler. I'm just saying.
Exactly.
Well, that's why when I said, you know, hey, at least not a hot air balloon, and it's, you know.
Exactly. Could be worse. So her new friend is named Ash. He's played by a character named Manish Dayal. He's on The Resident. If you've ever watched that, that's where he's pretty well known from. So he has a plane. He if I remember his like character description, he's in Maine, because, you know, that's where Daryl was last seen, so that's where Carol first looks, right? And excuse me, and he like during the after the outbreak, he goes to his family's like lake house or something like that, and that's where anyway somehow they end up meeting, and he has this plane that he flies daily, I guess, and things. But that's where how she hooks up with him and everything. And we've seen little pieces, even in a previous teaser, we saw something of her asking him about looking for a friend. Would you do everything you could, kind of thing, and or he says, one of them says it to the other. But anyway, yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how that is, and we see that they crash at some point, but where for sure is that no one knows.
A mountainside somewhere. I will say, if you pause it at the right time, if you go through that scene where Carol, she gets her foot grabbed and pulled down to the ground, those walkers, pretty freaking cool looking.
Yeah,
they're pretty cool looking. If you pause it at the right time, you're going to get a pretty good visual of some of the new look walkers, and they're pretty cool.
Speaking of cool walkers, I loved the fluorescent ones.
Yeah, like what's going on with those glow walkers?
Hold on, that's cool. You know what I mean? Like, is it radioactive? Like, is it like some kind of like bioluminescent fungus that's growing on them? Like, what the hell? But that was really cool, though.
Yeah. It'd be fun to learn more about those guys, because that was a very cool scene.
And it looks like we might actually get the introduction of some very fast running walkers.
Yeah, I saw that too. I was like, oh wow.
It's about time.
Yeah. Get those World War Z
The
wall climbers,
Jeez. I do not want that apocalypse.
No, not at all.
Give me the Walking Dead slow mover. Yeah. Dumb one. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. And then we also see КаDrone. He looks terrible, man. He's been through some stuff, because remember
he's seen some shit.
yeah. Well, because he went against her. Yeah.
Yep.
He actually can't see shit.
Yeah.
Good point. Good point.
But so that'll be interesting to see. I was like, what side is he on? If because we saw him have a change of heart there at the end of the last season. So so that'll be exciting. But he looks rough.
And it's hard to tell if he's chained to something.
Or was he just
is that like a Silence of the Lamb treatment? Like
I know, because he looked like he was stuck in that thing or something. So I don't know. But
and he's screaming, so maybe is he screaming and then those walkers come running? Who knows? But it's he does not look well.
No, not at all. And then so Lo Sang, again, very fast clips, but we saw him, the guy, the head of the Nest. He says something talks about using caution, and my first thought was like, Daryl's like in the back shaking his head. Nope. That's not his, that's not how Daryl does things. So I wonder if those two will come,
come to blows.
Kind of, so it'll be because he's trying to keep that community safe and things, and Daryl has other plans. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes too.
Yeah, I mean, it's he raises his hand to him, when he's locked up in the cell.
I love that.
He gets chased in there by that walker. So he just kind of looks at him. He's like, I can't help you.
Yeah, I can't help you, dude. And then he has the keys.
It was pretty cool that the kid had like the keys, and then he drops them, and you just see the keys. Like, I don't know. Like, to me, that was kind of really cool way of showing, like, I know you can't help me. Here's the keys. Let's go. You know what I mean?
Like exchanging smart ass remarks back and forth with no words.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So now, I mean, once he grabs that mace and he goes down that hallway, those are all. I mean, is that like a mix of walkers and soldiers?
It looks like humans the way they're moving to me, but it's dark. So I think it's Gannett or Jeanette, however you say her name. It's her people probably, because that would have been who would have captured him.
I think it might be Jeanette.
Is it? Yeah, that's probably, it's French. So
French, they don't pronounce
I think it's a mix. Like, I honestly think it's a mix of people trying to fight walkers.
Yeah, and it could be. Yeah.
I see a couple of guys with guns, but then I see that staggering kind of run out of a few people. So I think it's like a melee going on.
I don't think he cares. I think he's just
he's just killing everything
going through there. Yeah.
At that point, you're in my way. I'm going to remove you. You know what I mean?
Yep. I don't know you. You're gone. So but it looks like that'll be a really cool scene.
Yeah. I think
some bonds have no borders. Aha, that's the play. Yeah, that's the play on words.
Yeah.
I like that. I really liked when I saw it. Some bonds have no borders. Very good.
I think, like we said about the Dead City teaser trailer, you know, it's more of what we saw in season 1 and, you know, of both shows. You know, it feels like The Walking Dead is here. You know, it looks like the amazing camera angles that we're used to. It's the storytelling that we're used to. You know, it's a good feeling seeing that something that meant so much to so many people, like The Walking Dead did. I mean, you know, I can't remember who it was that was being interviewed, but one of the actors was being interviewed, and the question was, "What does The Walking Dead mean to you?" And they said, "You would not believe how many people come up to them at cons and they would say thank you. Like, you know, this is the first thing that really brought my family together every Sunday, and we all sat down and we cooked dinner together and we watched Walking Dead. You know, that was the one thing that got us, you know, kind of hanging out and talking again." And it's crazy that a zombie show does that, but you know, it did. And like I said before, we kind of lost that way with The Walking Dead for a little while, for 5 seasons or so. And we started to see that kind of kick back up season 11, and then the spinoffs came, and all of a sudden we were in high gear again. You know, we were kicking ass again, and that was so cool to see. And just like I said about Dead City, the trailer for Daryl Dixon, Book of Carol, same thing. It felt like, you know, we're home.
There's a scene, and if you blink, you'll miss it. It's at the end of the clip. It's at 1:56. If you pause it, it's a little opening of Carol standing in between what looks like old barn doors.
It looks like possibly Sophia.
I don't know if this is a memory back, but this looks like Herschel's farm.
It looks like Sophia. It looks like over her shoulder. It
looks like Sophia's coming through the doors. So this looks like a throwback memory, or maybe she's kind of in a moment, and then, you know what I mean? Like in her head, this is what plays.
I wonder if it's just something that's a very similar scenario.
Right.
And it kind of like mind screws with Carol, because it, like, again, we talked about these memory recall devices.
Yeah.
Is it the same thing? You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's a barn door opening, and here comes this like little child zombie.
Yeah, and there are bodies or something on the ground already.
Yeah.
And the person, it looks like a female because the hair is long.
Yep.
I kind of got goosebumps. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of got goosebumps. That's pretty freaking wild.
But you know what? If that is
the girl looks
something,
older.
Yeah, exactly. And also, Carol's wearing different clothing. Carol looks a little bit older. If this is a scenario that they put in the show to parallel what happened at Herschel's farm with Sophia, then good on them. Because think about like your like top 5, top 10 most emotional scenes in The Walking Dead, right? For me, top 5 is absolutely Herschel's farm. Like, I don't know where that fits in the top 5, but like,
the best season, that was one of the best seasons ever.
We're all positive that Sophia was dead. Like at that point, like I think 98.9% of people in Walking Dead fandom thought that Sophia was dead. But it's like you hold out that little bit of hope, because like this is like the last remnant of Carol's life that she's holding on to, that she loves. And it's like once you see Sophia like walk out of the barn, it's like it feels like being punched in the gut. You know, and you're just like, oh shit, like the reality sets in, you know what I mean? And then you start hearing like Carol freaking out, and everybody just like, you see everybody like the look on their face, and they're like, you know, if they did that, then bravo, because they are invoking those emotions again, which is cool.
Yeah, that's an eerie similar scene. Boy, that like when I paused it and I stared at that, I literally lit up with goosebumps. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I missed it the first time, and I saw someone online had posted, so I wrote back really quick, and I was like, oh my gosh, whatever they're doing it's incredible. Everybody, you know.
Sure.
Yeah. And that's like at the very end then too, after they put the the words up, then you wait a second and you see Daryl, and then you see Carol behind him, you know. So is it like, you know,
right.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see, you know, what's going on in all these, you know, scenes and everything. I mean, obviously they're gonna find each other, but you know, It's when, you know, and how, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So
It'll be interesting.
This is going to be the last episode type thing again, which, you know, none of us want. We want like maybe third episode.
I don't think so, because Melissa McBride, they asked her, you know, of course they ask all these questions she can't answer, but she did say, she goes, well, I think I can say it doesn't take long.
Okay.
So, yeah. That's what she said. Yeah. So
I'm going to say third episode. I'll say third.
Because initially I thought it would be like the end. When they first talked about it, I thought, oh man, we're going to see them doing this and him doing that. You back and forth, then the end they're coming together. But yeah, I think I'm going to say episode 2 or 3. Yeah. I think that's probably, you know, give us a little bit of, you know, stuff happening.
Right.
Yeah.
That just feels right. It just feels right.
Yeah.
You know, like episode 1 is, you know, getting us back on track. And then it leads off with episode 2, starting with, you know, probably her and meeting the new character with the plane, and you know, so I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna go by end of 3.
Okay. There we go. All right. Well, we'll see what happens.
It's my highly uneducated guess.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I have no knowledge of anything, but this is what I'm saying.
Nothing.
So the series does premiere on September 29th on AMC and AMC Plus. So that's exciting. And well, you know, the series, they officially announced, Scott Gimple let it out of the bag months ago that 3 was coming, or, you know, that was going to be renewed, but they officially announced it at San Diego Comic-Con, and they will be filming, the story will be now set in Spain, and they will be filming in Spain. So, people have done some serious speculation that Rick's brother will show up, because he was in when Rick got shot, his brother was in Barcelona. But in the comic, that was in the, I think there's a webisode and a comic, and I could be wrong, but I think in the comic he does die, but that doesn't mean anything in The Walking Dead, because this is the series, right? Or these are the series, the spinoffs even. So people are like, wouldn't that be really cool if Daryl encounters Jeff and, you know, has that tie and whatever. So we'll see what happens with that. It'd be cool, you know, but basically they said, you know, someone asked them why Spain, you know, and of course Norman Reedus said sangria, and then the showrunner David Zabel, he said, well, yeah, sangria and the food, and, you know, he said all these things, but he said basically it's just because this journey that Daryl and Carol are going to go on, you know, and
it has to go somewhere.
Yeah, they can't. They're just not going to stand there, because ultimately they're going to want to go back home. You know what I mean? Daryl, you know, even in the trailer, Daryl said he's thinking, Isabel and Laurent should come with him. You know, so you know, so so it's, you know, very exciting. And I was trying to think, there the first 11 minutes, I won't give any spoilers, I promise, I hate that, but you know, the just the quick rundown of that, you know, there's just some bonding between Daryl and Laurent, and there's they get some bad news about some of the Union of Hope members, and Daryl still, you know, he's a man of action still. He hasn't changed in that thing. And then we do, like I said, we do see Carol then in those that scene where she, well, a little before she arrives at that camp and starts talking to those guys, because I think probably most everyone's seen that little teaser clip of her talking and asking about the bike and this and that, you know. And she just, of course, turns right into Carol from the get, and she's ready to go and find Daryl, you know, she's not messing around. So it was very
I'm excited.
Yeah, absolutely. Gives a little you know, something to look forward to at the end of the summer and beginning of, like, you know, everyone's back to school and all that. You get back into your yearly stuff, and then you get to kick it off with a nice new episode.
And it's funny because Daryl's always been my favorite. Everybody knows Daryl's my favorite, but I really was expecting I was expecting to enjoy this series the least. I don't know what it was. There was just something about it, but I love it. And I think they've just done a great job. And, you know, I really like Dead City. I like The Ones Who Lived, you know, they were great and everything like that. But there's this, to me, just, it stands out. You know, and maybe just because it is filmed, it's, you know, we got a whole new bunch of people doing it. It's, you know, new writers and new, you know, camera people and everything, you know. And so, so I'm really excited to see, because even Norman Reedus was in another interview and he said something about season 4 even, and he's like, oh, I think I can say that, you know. So again, not official or anything like that, but of course Daryl or Norman just says what he wants to say, and he's always spoiling things.
And he's
but,
allowed to do it too.
Yeah, what are they gonna do to you? You're Daryl Dixon, you know. But yeah, so he did, you know, mention it, and whether it's true or not, who knows, because he's a goofball too. He likes to joke and tease, so who knows. But he did say it, so cool. It'll be fun to see, you know, what happens in the, especially, you know, when they move everything to Spain, you know, then we got a whole new, you know, whole new everything. So yeah, so it'll be interesting.
I'm excited. Yeah,
looking forward to it. I mean, you know, to go back visually again too, you know, like The Walking Dead, most of the episodes, you know, I remember people complaining, it's too dark, I can't see it, I have to light my screen, I have to do this, I have to do that, I can't see anything. And I think the way that it's production, the way that things are being done now, you get a lot more daytime, you know, stuff happening, and it's brighter, it's more visually appealing, you know, where you're not straining your eyes to see what the hell is happening on screen. So I think that obviously helps to engage people. So
agreed.
But yeah, that's it. I think we wrapped it up.
I think we wrapped up Daryl Dixon.
I think we wrapped it up. Yeah. It's about as much as you can do with 2 minutes of
content.
Not bad. We did half an hour on a 2-minute trailer.
Not sure if you're gonna see or not.
But look out for we do have our Dead City breakdown of their little teaser clip from San Diego Comic-Con as well. So look for that episode on YouTube as well. And
all right,
and we'll be back doing more.
Yes,
absolutely. Stay tuned.
You know.
Peace.
Bye.
Renee, Chris, and Ryan going live. Best podcast, Beauty and the Beast. Sit back and catch a vibe. Oh yeah, we talking zombies and apocalypses and all those things you like. Going beast mode, and if you didn't know, it's Peter Z up on the mic. Whoa, hey, TWD family, grab the snacks about the pantry. Subscribe and like if you can, please, or those walkers eat you like some candy. Hey, okay. You at the right place at the right time. No one does it better, that's the bottom line. Beauty and the Beast, this is prime time. Let's go.